Rameshwaram. Everybody should contribute, please. Not one or two people. Rameshwaram.
9 rupees converted into annas and distributed among the poor.
That is okay. That is what is there in the text. What we are trying to understand is what is the point that we can relay, we can try to translate into our life.
We should be positive in all situations.
We should be positive. We should become positive in our situation.
Right.
Yes. Madurai.
Creativity is the expression of God.
Creativity is, yeah, let everybody say, no. Creativity is the expression of God, no. When you, creativity of any kind, no.
Yes, Swami.
Wherever there is creativity, we should feel the presence of God. This will help us to have more and more clarity on the word God. He is there in the form of creativity, He is there in the form of sustenance, He is there in the form of distraction. Okay, then Chidambaram.
He was not thinking about food. You remind me.
What is it that we can take it now? No, again you are. We come out of the text. What does that chapter mean to me? That is important.
To live with a minimum food available.
More and more people should share, suppose one person keeps on telling, otherwise people will keep quiet. Please.
Yes, Swami.
Chidambaram. Anybody here?
Toughest tests in our life lead to values.
Enna thonunnathu Chidambaram. We are all supposed to go through this in 1 year in depth of study of inquest of God.
Ram is guiding and protecting power.
Ram is the guiding and protecting
power.
Faith in God, okay. Submission to His will.
ఏ రూపంలో పాప వచ్చినా కూడా అది రాముడు ఇచ్చే ప్రకారమే జరుగుతాను అనుకోవాలి.
We try to remove the text. What can be tried in our life? Through His life, He has given us the points.
In our life also, we accept everything by the will of God.
We don't accept, Do we accept?
Yes, Swami.
We are accepting everything as the will of God.
Some accepting, some not.
That is what. So we try now. We try now to accept. Some at least he has been kind enough to make us to accept. But at times He doesn't make us to accept. Now we know that He must make us to accept everything as His will. Like that, like that we try to churn and bring out.
Help comes from unknown.
Help?
Comes from unknown people, unknown persons.
In what way we are translating, Faith in God or submission to His will definitely come to us through unknown sources, something like that, no? We have to churn, we have to do the mental churning. Journey to Tirupapaliyur.
Swamiji, never judge anything happens.
Never judge.
Never judge.
If any situations placed before us, we are not supposed to judge immediately.
Placed before us, we should not judge, accept.
While reacting to any events and individuals, we should not rush up with our judgment. Yeah? Because God has got His own purpose in subjecting us to go through that experience. So we need some time. So never rush up with our own judgment. These are the practical clues, What had happened in Tirupapaliyur had happened to Papa. When I try to translate into my life, the lesson is that yes, you are right. We don't rush up with the judgment when we are placed in a very, very precarious condition. I should try. I may fail, I have failed. But at least this is the message I get. I must try.
Yes, Swami.
Then Pondicherry and Tiruvannamalai.
In our life, Mahatma's Satsang is very essential, Swamiji.
Yes, getting in touch with the Mahatmas, lives of Mahatmas, either in person or through their autobiographies, that will help us a lot in our journey. Yes, okay, then. Somebody said something?
We should not get upset when we fail in our...
We may get upset, but we should know that it is a test by God. Then only we will not feel upset. We can put it in another way. Though He gives us every prompting as to what we should do, it doesn't mean that every prompting will be fulfilled. Though He is behind every prompting, every word that we utter, but still it doesn't mean that everything will be fulfilled as defined by us. Because when the prompting comes to us, He has got a master plan. We are judging it with our puny intellect. He was prompted to take up a trip to Pondicherry, okay, but when he went there, 32 kilometers from morning till noon, in the hot sun without chappal, 32 kilometers. But when he went there, he was told that Sri Aurobindo was in silence and nobody can see him for an year. The prompting came from God, but also the non-fulfillment is also He is responsible. If we understand that, we will not become upset. Like that, we are trying to understand in our workaday life, how do we take out the essence of in question. Every prompting need not necessarily be fulfilled. Though it is He who gives that, He has got a purpose. If we can understand this, deeply, we will be free from grumblings and complaints. Sit down, wherever you are. Like that, in each chapter, suppose we keep on churning, suddenly we can understand, we can parade in our mind, parade before our mind. So many promptings he gave and we started doing it, but it did not get fulfilled. And we were either blaming the individual or the objects or the situations, but we never thought that it was God willed. Are we clear about it? Yeah. Prompting is also given, non-fulfillment also is made by him. If I keep on remembering this Pondicherry incident, to a very great extent I will be free from disappointment, dejections, grumblings, complaints.
He met Ramana Bhagavan without plans.
நமக்கு எப்படி எடுத்துக்கிறது சொல்லுங்க. நமக்கு though the message is without any plan, he was traveling. That was an outcome of his total surrender to the Almighty, no? You and I keep on planning because so many things, because we think we have to do it. Suppose he had to plan. Papa was asked once, without planning, how can we move about? There should be some planning, you know. Then Papa said, you can do that, subject to his will. That means the planning, the so-called planning is also prompted by him, and he has got the discretion to change its course. So it is not that any one of us can do without planning. Even our trip has to be planned. So that is in our blood. So planning will go on. But we have to now add one more, subject to his will. These are all the clues for me. What does the in-depth study of Inquest of God give us, you know? You all remember that when last year, when this was launched by Param Pujya Swami Padmanabhananji Maharaj, the prompting came to take up an in-depth study of Inquest of God. Every time we have gone through it, we have found some precious gems lying underneath the innocent words. So the churning has to go on. Churning for what? Churning not to become an expert in the text. Churning to bring out such of the hints that would enable us to move towards him, so that we will be able to lead a peaceful life, a serene life. Kindly think about it. Each chapter, at least one clue we must be able to identify. Then only we can say we have done the in-depth study. At least 37 points, you know. At least 30 points, which we take a resolve that we will try. We will try. That was the motive of Papa writing this Inquest of God. And in what circumstances it was written? He was in Panchapandava cave. Very difficult even today to enter into that cave, because it is a small entrance, no electricity, surrounded by forest, infested by all sorts of creatures. And he, after coming back, started noting down. We don't know the fullest details. It was not a book. Somebody told us whenever he gets, whenever any paper comes, he used to scribble this. And then finally somebody was kind enough to take it up. And in 1925, the first print came. Then so many thousands and thousands and thousands of copies are still going. That one which was initiated in 1925, we may have to take up the centenary of Inquest of God also in 1925. Another 3 more years. So why did he write in such a meticulous? It is not for you casual reading. It is for the posterity, it is for the benefit of the seekers. The title itself is In Quest of God. No? So he wanted every one of us to ask ourselves, are we really in quest of God? Then only the rest of the contents become relevant. If we are really in quest of God, all these chapters have a relevance. If we are not in quest of God, it is only an academic exercise. So how do I know that I am progressing? Such type of question should well up. That is the purpose of this Swadhyaya. This is called Sannyasa Swadhyaya Shatabdi, centenary. Reading it again and again and again and again, and link it with our life, so that our journey towards Him become faster and faster. So let us not get stuck with the contents. Let us go ahead with the theme contained in the text. So Pondicherry, there are so many, at least one. And Tiruvannamalai in the cave. Based upon that, kindly tell us. Anyone can say.
Occasional silence.
Swamiji, a spiritual aspirant need a solitude, Swamiji.
Solitude enables to communicate continuously with Him.
Meditation and solitude.
No, wait. What did you say?
And spiritual aspirant.
A seeker, an aspirant. What about us?
We are trying, Swamiji.
Huh?
We are trying.
We should know that we need. So not an aspirant. Whenever we want to qualify ourselves as an aspirant, we must make somehow adjust. We must bring out circumstances in such a way that we resort to solitude now and then. It is not for others.
For me.
For me, correct. Each one should direct this to me. What does this inquest of God mean to me? No? I should become one with the inquest of God, the theme. I should travel with Papa. And Papa is telling, we should know that Papa is telling, in your life, if you want to get yourself stabilized in this path, you have to recede from your routine activities, at least for a short time, every now and then, to remind you of the goal, where you feel undisturbed. So that is the message from the cave. Tirupati.
Swamiji, in the cave, one more message is we have to try to see Ram everywhere.
Who is Ram? Who is Ram?
Ram is a subtle and mysterious power.
Means what? That is, we are borrowing the words of Papa.
Silence is Ram.
No. We have to make some effort, Suppose we borrow the words of masters, it is not going to help us bluntly.
Swamiji,
1 year we have spent, 1 year we have spent going through. Again we are quoting. What is it that has come out from our own effort?
இன்னும் சரியா கிளாரிட்டி வரல சம்திங்.
சொல்லணும். என்னுள்ள இருக்கும் என்னை பேச வைக்கிற அந்த சக்தியை அந்த சக்தி எல்லாரிலேயும் இருக்குன்னு எனக்கு புரியணுமே அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் போதும். என்னை இப்போ பேச வைக்கிற, என்னை இப்போது நான் இருக்கேன்னு எனக்கு புரிய வைக்கிற அந்த சக்தி என்னில் எப்போதும் இருக்குதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியணும். இது எல்லாரிலேயும் இருக்குதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியணும். And that is the language which we can understand about God. மற்றதெல்லாம் யாரோ சொன்னதல்லவா? என்ன கேட்க வைக்கிற சக்தி, என்ன பேச வைக்கிற சக்தி, எனக்கு the thinking power in me, the talking power in me, the hearing power in me, the smelling power in me, the touching power in me, the thinking power in me. I should know that there is a power behind this, and the same power is in everybody. The other one is Papa's words, we should know Ram everywhere, no? So we should try to talk to us in our own language. Then only we are moving towards it.
Swamiji is in with me.
Eh?
He is in me, with me.
He is in me.
In me and with me.
We should try. You make me, I am not aware that you are in me and with me, but I know you are there, but kindly make me aware of your presence. No? This is how we reach, our approach becomes clearer and clearer. Because we have not attempted so far, that is why it's a problem for us. We will try now, 5 days are there. Yes, we can still try.
Swamiji is digesting power in me.
Digesting power in me.
We start thinking the digesting power. I don't do anything for that. We try to think about it, and we have to repeat that. The digestive power in me, who is not palpable, which I don't know, but I know because of that power only the digestion takes place, which help my bones, my blood, my body to absorb from the food I eat. And whatever is not needed, it is rejected. There is a power. I should become aware. I am not aware. I just eat, that's all. I just go to the toilet, that's all. I am not aware that there is a power which is helping me to get all these nutrients. So like that, we try to go within, practical, connecting ourselves with our very life. Otherwise, we may be repeating the same word, what somebody has said.
Blood circulation also taking place, Swamiji.
Blood circulation, digestive power.
Blood
Blood
circulation.
circulation, digestion.
That is right, but we must pray to him, no? This is the knowledge that we are talking. But we are praying to him, the blood circulates from head to toe. I am not aware of it. I am not aware of the power behind this. Please make me aware.
Breathing also, Swamiji.
Breathing.
No, everything, These are all activities that is going on. We should pray to him, no? To make us aware of what is going on within us. Then only we will be able to understand everywhere that he is there. If we don't, that is why, masters and shastras insist that we should first feel his presence within. Then only we will be able to feel his presence without. So to know that, Papa's method is to go within, deep, contemplative approach. He gives us the clue. He said Ramdas's words cannot be understood if it is not supported by your own perfected experience. In Quest of God we may read, we may know the textual meaning, but clearly Papa says, we don't have that word, no?
In quest of God.
In search of Papa you have? No.
I'll bring it.
No, need not bring. Need not bring.
It is there in this syllabus.
Oh, 1 minute, please. Hold.
Publications.
It won't come here. There is no text. No, this is all for sale. Free only. There are 3 categories in public, 4 categories. Oh, and, go back.
Yes.
Again we read, Papa says, through mere superficial churning of thought, Ramdas's words cannot be understood. You can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own perfected experience. Experience is gained by diving deep into the depth of your mind. Mere assertion of the truth is not realization. Realization means direct perception and experience. Clear cut, unambiguous. He clearly says, so when we read, superficial churning will not give us the real meaning. Ramdas's words, you can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own perfected experience. And how do I gain it? Experience is gained by diving into the depth of your mind. So every time, that is in-depth study. Then only the real content, it will come out. When Papa writes, it is in simple language, innocent. Suppose we just read and say wonderful and close it. What is the benefit we got? After some time we forget. But suppose we apply our mind deeply, especially a small book like In Quest of God. Though there are 37 chapters, many of the chapters have only 2 or 3 pages or 1 or 2 pages. Only very few chapters run in so many pages. And we may feel that they are all incidents. We may just treat it as incident. We store it in our memory. So what? Preliminarily, that is the first primary benefit. Okay. Beyond that, we have to go now. What is it that this conveys to me? When I am in a similar situation, how do I train my mind to accept it as God's will? This is what he said, you throw a light by deep mental churning. So superficial reading, superficial going through will not help us. In clear-cut terms, he mentions this. Okay, then coming back, Tirupati.
Accepting rejection, when he was told to go out of the temple.
Again, you are talking about papas. What is it that you and I can get benefited by it?
He said you have to accept the rejection.
There has already been one.
Constant remembrance.
Yes, all points are right. But what that
Saguna Nirguna, Papa, Saguna and Nirguna, one and the same.
it is not one and the same to us now, no? So we are trying. He went there for Saguna Darshan, but when that was not possible, he was not unhappy because he knew Venkatacharapati is everywhere. Balaji is everywhere. Balaji is not only in Tirupati, but he is also everywhere. When that stage comes to me, I will not feel. I may go to Tirupati, I may have his darshan, but at the same time I will feel that the power is there in everybody. Something like that, no? How does it help me? Kindly think about it in that terms. That is in-depth study. What had happened to Papa in 1922-23 relates to his life. To me, now, 2022, what is expected of me by Papa? Kindly think on those lines. Another thing, there are so many points there. Commitment to the ideal alone will make us to become unaware of the inconveniences. Commitment to the ideal, whatever may be our ideal, commitment to the ideal alone will make us unaware of the inconveniences that are outside. This is the lesson. When they were denied entry into the fort, when they in Dharamshala, it was biting cold and mosquitoes. But Papa was continuing with his sadhana. That means commitment. Commitment to the, so that he was free from grumblings and complaints. Each and every chapter should make us to go deeper and deeper. It's the same principle, in different forms he has put. So 11 chapters, no? Tirupati. So Tirupati, cave, Pondicherry, Tiruvannamalai, Tirupapuriyur, Chidambaram, Madurai, Rameshwaram. We just had a trip in Rajdhani. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 or 7, not 8. Again, let us try. 7, we have completed now. Tirupati means 11. Out of these 11, what comes to us? Please. 11 chapters, technically, we have gone through, no? That which can be tried in our life. The message that will help me to lead a serene life. Surrender. I am unable to surrender, but at the same time, I now realize surrender is the only way. And there is no partial surrender. On some days we surrender and some other days we don't know. That means it is not surrender. When we are thoroughly convinced that it is He who does everything, then only our surrender becomes complete. So, total surrender. You have given me many experiences by which I know that it is your will that prevails. But again, the sense of individuality is so strong, it keeps on planning and deciding and labeling every incident as good or bad, this and that. So these 11 chapters give me this every time when I go through I am reminded this, that there is no other way but to bring you into the picture and to assert that it is your will, your will, your will that alone matters. Right from renunciation, right from adoption of sannyas, right from Srirangam, right from Madurai, right from Rameshwaram, like that, you know. All these 11 chapters, you showed that because you were able to keep up the same equanimity, everything because your surrender was total. I may not be able to remember everything that has been explained, but this is becoming clearer and clearer to me. Make me to surrender you, surrender towards you, surrender to your will. Somehow you please make me, you know. Whatever may be my outward reactions or activities, heart of heart you make me feel that everything is happening only by His will, so that we will not be upset, we will not be disturbed. And one more point,
Hariom Swamiji.
no,
So we accept his will and we surrender to his will, but then we want to surrender fearfully because whatever is happening for my good only. At that time, it may seem that what I want is not happening, but in due course of time, few days, we will know that whatever happened was for my own good only.
Good.
And Papa knows, or the Lord knows what is best for me. I do not know what is best for me.
Beautiful. This is how we approach. Initially, I may not be able to contain it, accept it, but in the shortest possible time, I will be able to recover myself, because this knowledge is underlying there. At some point of time, you will clear me why you made me to go through.
Yes, Swami.
Correct.
And this example is happening with me right here because I came from America to come to Anandashram and I could not come.
Correct.
I kept planning,
Right.
but Papa had some other plans.
Correct.
So I would surrender, then again
Correct.
my
Perfect.
mind would come.
It is.
And then Swamiji said, this technology, and so I'm able to see that I can hear.
Absolutely
part
right.
of it.
Absolutely right. This is how we stitch, We stitch our life with in quest of God.
Yes.
Not separate.
Yes. And then one more thing, Swamiji, the senses, like I wanted to be part of it, I wanted to see everybody, I wanted to hear, but then it just did not happen. So it's like the divine will says, I'm everywhere, but you have to feel my presence everywhere.
Correct.
Just going to Anandashram.
Quite right.
This is what is happening with me here.
First class.
Yeah.
The other day we were reading, Param Puja Papa, when we say Swami Ramdas, we should know that the birthless and deathless Papa, the indwelling and all-pervading reality Papa, who has also come in the form of Swami Ramdas like many other creations. He is not to be limited to Anandashram alone. He is not to be limited to the bhajan hall. He is not to be limited to the Samadhi Mandir. He is not to be limited to the compound of Anandashram. And he is to be seen everywhere. That's why Mataji said, Papa, omnipresent Papa's ashram is the whole universe. And to know that, he has set up this ashram.
It's difficult.
Exactly. Very difficult, not difficult. Very difficult. But we try. These are all the learnings.
Yes,
So when he went to Tirupati, he was not disappointed. When he went to Pondicherry, he was not disappointed. Everywhere, when he was asked to get down from the train towards Rameshwaram, he was not disappointed. We may say so many things, be positive, but ultimately it zeros to what? Zeros to zero planning, no?
Yes.
Because the master planner knows.
Master plan. Right.
So things go only according to that. So make me aware of this master plan, please. I always think that I am planning, I am doing, I am taking. So that means, when it doesn't conform to what I expect, I become a little upset. I become disturbed. Why should it come? I may immediately blame somebody. I may blame the circumstances. The bus, it just went away, or the train I couldn't catch. Something like that we will say. But we remember one incident. We don't exactly remember the words of Papa, but in ashram, Sundar Mama just came from. He was in Ooty. So somebody said, oh, it's clear coincidence that we have met. Then Papa said, not coincidence, it is the will of God. Normally we rush up with that word, coincidence. X coming, Y meeting at a particular place, at that particular time. Immediately Papa corrected. It is not coincidence, it is the will of God. So even from small item, if we try to bring in that, probably we might be hastening our move towards Him. So that is the theme for this main theme of In Quest of God. Anything else comes to anybody, no?
Not react immediately.
To-
Not react or then immediately.
That is also another learning, because we cannot, normally immediately, impulsively we react, and then we feel we should not have uttered, we should not have taken that decision. So don't react. Dwell on Him. Why are you doing it? That mental attitude we should develop. That can come only when we develop this, Otherwise we will be reacting. We will not be reacting only as now Neelam said, he has got a master plan. So why should I rush up with my own judgment? So during my past moments, I must keep on dwelling on it. So that when he puts me in a particular situation, I will be able to remember. Not that particular moment. Whenever now we are in a past moment, we are not disturbed. All of us are in a sattvic state. In this sattvic state, suppose we dwell more and more on it, that everything need not be as planned by us, but everything is accordingly going on according to His plan. Though He gives us the freedom to make plans, it doesn't mean that every plan will be fulfilled, because that is His plan. So if I keep on thinking about it during these past moments and then connect with my own life, yes, I went there, I approached, I applied for the job, I was about to get it. Last moment, no. At that particular, what did I do? Did I blame anybody? Or it's all right, there is something good for me later. We remember
Swamiji, it happened to me recently, Swamiji, but I didn't feel so bad about it.
Something happened with me recently, but I didn't feel bad
so
about
bad.
it.
So bad, correct. These are all the tangible gains. One devotee sitting before us, started with all enthusiasm from Seattle to reach here, and how God willed that the journey should get blocked in Dubai for no fault of her. No? But she took it by God's grace. Absolutely, we cannot say this is the reason. There may be some instrumental causes. But it was really a test. And unless the test is given, how will we know that we have understood it? If everything goes according to our plan, how will we know that God has blessed us with the equanimity? So it is taken as a test, patiently, perseveringly went through it. Like that, every one of us have gone through. Have we blamed the people or circumstances or objects, or have we been able to accept it? No? If this is there, at least there is a tangible, palpable gain in going through in quest of God, in-depth study. This is the refrain comes to us from chapter to chapter to chapter to chapter. Every time he keeps on reminding, not your plan, his plan, not your plan, his plan, not your plan, his plan. Yes? Anything else?
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? So sometimes people worry about, if they get a prompting, they say, well, is this prompting from my ego or is this prompting from God? But it seems Papa was so surrendered that all prompting he knew was wrong.
Correct.
Do we have to wait till we are at that state to not question, is the prompting from my own ego self or is it from God? Should we just be like Papa?
Actually, every prompting comes from him only. But when it is passed through my ego, that means my likes and dislikes, my rights and wrongs, my preferences, my priorities, it gets distorted. And I become unaware of the real prompter. Just like, the light is reflected through transparent objects, clean. Through translucent, somewhat clear. Through opaque, nothing. So we are probably in between the translucent state. There is a light. We know that it is coming from God, but at the same time we are not very clear. The sense of individuality is so strong in us, it thinks that it is motivating. Actually, the motivator is he only. But when it is passed through this impure mind, which is called the ego, then it gets distorted. At times, it meets with fulfillment. At times, it doesn't meet with fulfillment. But a true devotee is he who becomes aware of it. So every prompting comes from him only. There is nothing other than that. To make it more clear, we will borrow Papa's own words. After this inquest of God, after this severe austerities and penance, when he came back to Panchapandava cave, and when he was mentally doing the churning, suddenly one day he felt all the so-called labeled down-pulling thoughts were coming up. And he cried, in spite of so much of surrender, why should it come? Then it became quiet. Again, after some days, again it came. So he cried, what is this? Why are you again giving this? Then intuitively he heard the answer. Is there anything other than me? Why don't you see me? So here, Papa has written, so it is, if we transform, the face gets changed from the negative to the positive. So every prompting is coming from him only, not selected. Papa prompted me to say that, we will say, by Papa's one, as if something else is there. Every prompting is from him only. When we say that, I was prompted to by Papa to do so mean there are some other element to prompt us other than God. No. Initially we may say all these positive things as prompted by God. Later on, we will try to get over the transcend this and feel that every prompting is coming from Him. Even the so-called deplorable down-pulling tendencies in our mind. So he said, as soon as we identified with this God dimension, its face gets changed. It gets transformed. So the question is now, prayer is now, kindly enable me to accept every prompting that you give through my mind. Comes from you. I normally forget about the source. Because I am used to this expression only. I am thinking, I am talking, I am doing. But behind this, you are there. That I hardly recognize. At times I recognize in the presence of Mahatmas, or when I read something, when I am in a sattvic state. Otherwise, I don't bring you at all in my. So kindly enable me to bring your dimension behind all my thoughts, words, and deeds. This is a simple. This question is very nice. Every prompting, it is intimate to us. Every prompting, even the very words now that are being uttered, even the doubt, even the apprehension, even the vacillating tendency, even the so-called labeled failure, even the slip, everything is motivated by Him. Somehow we should get stabilized. We should keep on praying, that's all. We have been reading this. Intellectually, we all understand this. But when it comes to us, we may not be able to hold on to it. So now this in-depth study of Inquest of God makes us to realize that we should have a prayer, heartfelt prayer, to make us know. Now we are very clear about the ideal. I think we can sum up the whole thing in 2 words. Surrender, that means accepting every situation as ordained by Him. At the moment I have not reached, but at the same time I will try to reach. That is the goal I have to reach. And the second one is every prompting is coming from you. Surrender comes out in a different form. Please make me to accept it. Every prompting, because of which all activities, mental, physical, psychological, everything is going on. Because of you only. So if we can take this deeply into our heart, and during our off hours, suppose we ponder deeply, we try, that will enable us to have the bridge between us and Him. And finally, we will hear from Him, do you exist bereft of me? And that will answer all the questions. Do you have a separate existence other than me? If we are prompted by Him to contemplate upon this, then the purpose of His motivating to take up this in-depth study gets fulfilled. Rest of the chapters we will try tomorrow and day after. On 24th, the program starts. Today is 21st, 22 and 23. We will try one point at least. And finally, Inquest of God means one point should be very clear to us, like what we said. And then that is the take-home message for all of us. This year, so many times we have read about so many things, we have dwelt upon so many things deeply, we tried to connect so many things. Now we are slowly realizing that it is He who is facilitating everything for us. So our prayer is, make us always constantly aware of the fact, of the truth, that you are facilitating everything. All that I can do is glory for all that you have been providing to me. If you have not provided, if you have not facilitated, I will not be having it. You prompted Papa Swami Ramdas to take up this trip in 1922. You made Papa Swami Ramdas to write it down 100 years back or 99 years back. And then you made it to come out in the form of a book. And then you made him to set up this ashram. And then you gave us a sense of individuality and made us to get ourselves connected with it. And you provided so many opportunities for us to remember you deeply. As a part of this exercise, last year you also motivated us, oh, don't worry, so far you have not been able to concentrate. Now concentrate on one particular text. That will throw more light on your quest of knowing me. And then you facilitated for the in-depth study. And now you are slowly making us clear, like that we keep on telling. So let this dialogue, inner dialogue, go on. And let us pray to him kindly, enable us to eke out the maximum benefit before this 27th December 2022 arises. Because we gratefully remember all that through your life, but for you, the transformation of Vittal Rao to Swami Ramdas, we will not be sitting here. So, though it is all God's will, from the individual standpoint, we feel we would not have been here if you have not prompted Vittal Rao to take this step. So, at the Vyavaharik level, we first express our gratitude. At the spiritual level, we are trying to understand that everything happens only by your will. Every prompting is coming from you only. So that I don't have to bifurcate or label or this is good, this is bad, this is positive, this is negative. That stage you please make me to reach. Without choosing anything, without labeling anything, without coloring. In all that you make me to go through in my family life, professional life, social life, and spiritual life. So let us try to dwell on these aspects deeply. In the next 4 or 5 days, again, he is providing so many opportunities for us to see the different facets of this sadhana. He is providing, facilitating so many things for us, and also gives us a facility to chant his name in the midst of all devotees. 7 days non-stop. And he is going to give us a feast in the form of satsang. Through so many devices which he has brought it out. So let us all have this, feeling in our heart. Then we will be able to take out the maximum benefit out of this program. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama Om.
Ram.
Suddenly one more prompting comes. Ashram can accommodate at best 300 people, And now Papa has prompted 750 people to come. From the Vyavaharik point, we have no clues. But somewhere, he will make some arrangement. And he is slowly revealing how the arrangement will come. Every day, from the Vyavaharik point, he prompts us to make chart, again change the chart. So it's a wonderful, wonderful game that is going on for the past few days. The test is severe. Because double the capacity, unimaginable, unprecedented. All that we did was 3-4 months back, we put a small insertion in our vision, that's all. And then we thought, okay, we can manage. But as days go by, every day we used to ask Shraddha, what is the score? Then she will say 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, 675. Now, day before yesterday or 2 days back, she said it is touching 750. So then we are wondering, So unless these go within, we will go off the head. There will be so many people wanting to stay inside. Now we are also trying to arrange accommodation outside. And suddenly one school, today morning we had been to a nearby school. Lovingly they said, as many people you want, you can bring them. Then we have to arrange for their stay, materials, how to get them from that place to our ashram. But he is arranging beautifully. Till the last moment, he will not reveal how he is going to solve. Yeah, that's just came. Reality we are.
There is no wonder it may reach 1002.
Huh?
There is no wonder it may reach 1002.
We don't know what is in store. What is it? Okay. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om Tatsat.
Hari Om.
Pranam.
I'll give you after 10-15 minutes. 5:30 you come. Okay.
I want 4 or 5 printouts of that timetable.